And they said,
I know it, and look who you're surrounded with, all the stars. Groucho Marx and Johnny Goodell, the whole gang. Oh, and Linda Marx there. What do you know? Groucho stands up. Now, we really fooled you, didn't we, Harold?
Well, I should say you did. I've never been so surprised in my life, Ralph.
Your bowling ball with you?
What'd you say, Groucho?
Ask him if he's got his bowling ball.
You got your bowling ball?
No, I'm afraid I wouldn't know how to use it.
You know, we could do 30 minutes with Groucho Marx and Harold Lloyd here, but we got to get going. You know, 27, that's right.
I'm getting 2 minutes out of that, you know.
Well, modest and unassuming, you've often said nobody's going to get me near that studio on Wednesday night. What?
Ask him if he drives to DeSoto.
Oh, shut up! You drive to DeSoto. No, he can't. Well, his wife uses Hazel Bishop and Prell. Well, anyhow, that's... Marx, this isn't your program, Groucho. Oh, thank you, Groucho.
Every morning in the bathtub.
Thank you, Groucho. This may be Groucho Marx's life. If we keep on, you can't tell. Hey, that's not a bad idea if we could ever get... Listen.
I'll help you with that.
Well, to fool you was a very, very difficult task. That's why we had to get your good friend Jim Calder here all the way from Milwaukee tonight just to try to get you to the Derby. Isn't that right, Jim?
That's right, Ralph. I called Harold from Milwaukee. It was my home.
Yes.
I told him I was going to be in town for just 2 hours.
Yes.
Would he please meet down at Bill Rintoul's stereo service? Yes. And we come up here at the Derby for a bite, and here we are.
Oh, my. Well, that's...
I think you could get anybody.
What was the bait to get him?
3-dimensional slides. You know, this old-time great movie man.
All-time,
also a great photographer.
Yes.
3-dimensional stereo.
Very nice. That's true. That's just one of many, many of your accomplishments, as we shall see. Well, now, look, we have a car outside, Harold, ready to rush you to the El Capitan Theater, where we'll recreate the story of one of the most beloved people in motion picture history. Say goodbye to Groucho. What?
What kind of a car?
We have a DeSoto waiting up.
Well, every morning. Is that any good?
Prell is fine, thank you. And it...
Prell for breakfast every
Fine,
night.
Groucho. Come on, we're on our way. Here we come with... Without Groucho Marx, I'll have you know. All right. Just before you got here, Harold, Bob, did you show the picture of the little bit of safety last? Bob, you did? Some of that height was an illusion, but you, not a double, were actually a number of stories off the ground, weren't you, Harold?
Yes. We worked on different buildings, Ralph. The last was about the highest we had here in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
About 10 or 12 stories, whatever it is. And we worked on the actual buildings. We built platforms about a story below us.
Mm-hmm.
But we were actually taking a chance because the platforms didn't have any railings. Of course, the cameraman was taking as much chance as I was.
Oh, I don't know. I think you were taking a chance. It shows that not only did a star have to have bundles of courage, he had to have bushels of talent, or vice versa. And you had both, that's for sure, on and off the screen, as we're going to find out. This is your life. Harold Lloyd. Come on and sit down here, boy. Away we go. Oh. Say, we were lucky we made it up here so fast, you know.
This is very familiar. I've been on this program.
I know. We should give you a life membership to This Is Your Life. The future great comedian, you, Harold Clayton Lloyd, first see daylight without benefit of horn-rimmed specs in Burchard, Nebraska, the son of Mr. and Mrs. J. Darcy Lloyd. You have an elder brother, Gaylord. All three have since passed away. In your childhood, Harold, your family moves about a great deal. What are some of the towns you lived in? Do you recall?
Yes. Let's see. I lived in a little town called Pawnee. Another little town called Beatrice. They didn't call it Beatrice. They called it Beatrice.
Beatrice, yes.
Nebraska. Omaha, that's right. Omaha, Nebraska. Denver, Colorado. Oh, we were a moving family.
That's for sure.
We really were a mobile group. We migrated around.
In Denver, your father clerks in a shoe store.
That's right.
You were a poor boy, a great admirer of Mark Twain's Tom Sawyer.
Very much so.
Yes, indeed.
I pulled a number of stunts.
Yes, well, I was going to say, like Tom Sawyer, you've retained, though, to this day, the spirit of eternal youth. And as a boy, as you say, you used some of Tom Sawyer's methods to get out of work.
Yes, I did.
Yes, Harold, do you remember how you used to get the neighborhood kids to clean up your backyard by promising to teach them magic tricks? You taught me how to hypnotize you.
Now, I don't expect you to recognize that voice, Harold. You haven't heard it in
but he's talking about things that I know about.
It's been about 50 years. Here from McLeod, California now, your Nebraska boyhood friend, Paul Heron. Oh. Paul Heron. There he is.
50 years. That's a long time.
Long time.
Yes, but you're speaking my language.
Come on out here so we can talk together. How did Harold teach you to hypnotize him, Paul?
We were 10 or 12 years old, and he told me how to give him the big eye and the big stare and the focus signals.
I remember I wouldn't come out of it, wasn't that it?
Then snap my fingers to bring him out.
Yeah.
And you tried it on Harold, is that it?
Sure.
What happened?
Yeah. Well, he snapped his fingers, and I wouldn't come out.
Oh.
So he was in a terrible fix because he got me, hypnotized me, but he couldn't bring me out. He was pretty upset about the whole thing.
I had you doing a lot of capers around the yard for about 30 minutes.
That's right. You certainly did.
Then I snapped my fingers.
And then but he must have driven you crazy for a while.
He did, but finally you decided you'd had enough fun with me.
That's right.
Came on.
A budding comedy
Really
sense.
had me going.
Yes, I did.
That's
A
right.
budding
I
comedy
remember that
sense
so well.
that someday is to flower into great talent, Harold. Thank you, Paul Heron. Thank you so much.
See you later.
1902, you see your first movie, The Great Train Robbery. But the flickers are only a passing fad. Your main interest is the stage, Harold Lloyd. You even write little plays, and with a cast of friends, you act them out in the backyard. Summers and after school, like many another kid, you get all kinds of jobs, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yes,
Now, between the time you're 11 and 18, you play many small roles in various stock companies. In 1911, an accident and the flip of a coin decide your future.
We go to New York, we come to the coast.
That's right. You're in Omaha, Nebraska. Your father's by now working for the Singer Sewing Machine Company.
That's right.
But then,
Lloyd said to come to California. We came to California, and I came out here. I had a friend of mine who was...
now, so that you won't jump our story, Harold, because
Yes.
goodness knows no one knows your story better than you. Your father actually got into an accident, didn't he? And
Yes,
it was
he did.
the money from that settlement that amounted to a couple
That's right.
$1,000
Yes.
that could take you somewhere else. As you say, you were a moving family.
I think so.
So
Between
the-
$2,000 and $3,000 that he
He wanted
had.
to go to the East, New York.
Well, he didn't care, really. He was perfectly willing to go either place.
So the flip of the coin brought you to
It actually
San
did that.
Diego.
It really did.
And, of course, there you're only 125 miles away from Hollywood.
That's right.
You finish high school, and you continue. Acting roles are scarce, though. One day you're down to your last 5 cents. You're living on an apartment house roof. What were you living in, Harold? Up there
Well,
on the
they
roof.
built 4 or 5 of these just little... They were made out of cardboard, I really think, but you got them very cheaply, and they're big enough to put a bed in. That was about all.
Sort of a
So it was right up on
tent
top
type
of the roof.
thing. Is
Yes,
that
it was almost a tent. I remember putting a lot of college pennants up in there. That's all I had around the wall.
You decide to give Los Angeles a try after
Well-
this. Unable to get enough work in the theater, you reluctantly apply for jobs as a film extra at Universal.
I know how tough it was to get a job in pictures. I was an extra man myself at that time, Harold.
No need asking you who that is.
No.
The producer, director, creator of the great Our Gang comedies on film, now head of one of Hollywood's top TV film studios, your good friend Hal Roach. Here he is, Harold. Good there,
Good to see you, Al.
You know, these two guys, you think that Groucho and Harold could have gone for a half hour. These guys could go for 2 hours, I'm sure, with stories. How did you movie extras get jobs in those early days, Hal?
Oh, we used to stand around out in front of the studio with another gang of fellas, hoping the assistant director would give us a nod.
Yeah. Well, how much was an extra paid in those days?
Oh, I think he got about $3 a day, didn't he, Harold?
Yes, that's what started. Then later on, we got very plutocrats. We got $5 a day.
Oh,
some
well,
days,
that's living.
You some days get 2 or 3 days a week. You know,
How did
that
you
was
get
pretty
the
good.
assistant director's eye out there in the streets? To get
That was very difficult. It was hard to get into the studio to start with. Of course, that was pre-Hal. But one day I had to even put on a makeup.
How's that?
Well, I saw the different actors. They didn't challenge them at the gate going through if they had a makeup on.
Excuse me, I know you were an expert in makeup because you were trained as a boy in makeup.
So I put a makeup on and walked right on through the door. They thought I was working. That's the way I get in.
Hal, look, you saw this man go from $3 a day to over $1 million a year. How did he take this change?
Ralph, with all of the actors that I've been associated with, This fella had less temperament than any that I ever knew. If you'd go out to his beautiful home today in Beverly Hills, you'd probably see some of the same fellas that he used to know when he was getting $3 a day, and they'd all be calling him Speedy.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you, Hal
I
Roach.
can say the same thing for this fellow, believe me.
He's one of Hollywood's all-time greats, too, isn't he? Thank you, Hal Roach.
Thank you, Hal.
1917. In this year, you create what you call the glasses character, the character with the horn-rimmed glasses. How did you get the idea for the glasses character, Harold?
I got it from what was a feature picture. It was a minister.
Mm-hmm.
A minister, he wore these horn-rimmed glasses, and he was one of these kinds that belied his appearance. You thought that he was very dignified and strictly to the cloth, but he was a go-getter.
Mm-hmm.
And it appealed to me, the reversity of character.
Yes.
And I wanted to do it as a studious character.
Well, now, the parson was the character, I think.
Parson
But
was
the parson
character.
wasn't wearing
He wore
horn-rimmed glasses.
Yes, he wore.
Oh, did he wear
horn-rimmed-
the horn
yes,
rim?
And it was it had nothing to do with comedy. It was a dramatic picture.
And you decided, of course,
And it was with the glasses, and I thought that would give you a studious appearance.
of course, they were coming in vogue then, too. Or actually, you're the guy that really put them into vogue, you might
yes,
say.
I don't think that. I think he just had him as a character. I believe he had him. I'm not sure whether I got the. But it was his reversal of character of being a go-getter
That gave you the idea. And for the first time in motion picture history, a comedian, you, Hal Lloyd, does not wear an odd makeup, mustache, or funny clothes. He looks like the average, recognizable American youth.
That was the reason I did it, Ralph, because you could have romance in the picture. You could be believed as the boy next door.
Right. And this is the Harold Lloyd that America is to take to its heart in Grandma's Boy, A Sailor-Made Man, Why Worry, The Freshman, Milky Way, and a host of other great films. Who can ever forget? But we're back in 1919 when your leading lady, Bebe Daniels, decides to become a dramatic actress for Cecil B. DeMille. You and Hal Roach over here look for a blonde to contrast with Bebe's brunette beauty.
Harold and Hal Roach saw me in a picture with Bryant Washburn and wired me to come and see them.
Oh, those wives. Sneaky.
The
lovely actress who became your leading lady, Harold, not only in pictures but for life, Mildred Davis, Mrs. Harold Lloyd, Mid, as they call her. Here's Mid.
Going out shopping,
Come on, Mid, you sit over here next to your famous husband. Oh, dear. She said he's going to hit me right over the head.
I never thought you could do it, Ralph.
I know, you said it. After B.B. Daniels' party, you said, Ralph, you can never get me. You very nearly didn't get that acting job with Harold. Isn't that so, Mid?
Well, that's right,
Forgot
Ralph.
it was Wednesday.
I was going to high school, and so I wanted to look older, and I bought a new wardrobe, including a large hat with a willow plume down the side.
Oh, dear. Well, did you like her that way, Harold? You didn't.
Oh, yeah, well,
Looked
no,
a
we
little
made
old,
it.
didn't
We
she?
made her. Yes, she did. We wanted her nice, just as she was, and she wanted to be much older. So,
But you and Hal Roach
we soon got that wardrobe.
You
away
decide to
from her.
take a chance and hire Mildred. The public applauds your choice. They accept and love her, and in a far more personal way, so do you. Now, in the years ahead of you, Harold Lloyd, you're to undergo in real life some of the same elements of danger and laughter you brought to the picture screens of the world. We'll see that on our screen in a few moments. Now back to This Is Your Life. Harold Lloyd, great comedian, one of the most truly beloved people in the film capital. August 24th, 1919 is a day you'll never forget, Harold, because on that day you nearly lose your eyesight and your life. You're making some publicity gag photographs at the studio. You're being photographed lighting a cigarette with a phony trick bomb. What happened, Harold?
Well, the bomb was taken out of a desk that should never. It was broken into by one of the gag men who wanted to get a lot of props for to do it. Went down to a photograph gallery called Witzel's. I don't know whether they're still in business or not. And we were making all these gag pictures.
Sure.
And this one I was to light the cigarette off of the wick of the bomb. The only thing is that the smoke kept blowing in my face, and I kept following it down. Now, this was in what we use is big paper mache bombs, but this real bomb had been put inside.
Oh, yes.
And as it got almost to the bottom of the bomb, then I realized that it wouldn't make a good picture. So the only thing that saved my life was that I was going to say, it's no good now. So as I said it, and as I lowered it here, the bomb went off. Went right straight up and blew a big hole about that big in the ceiling. And,
Blinded and stunned, your face bleeding, you're taken to the Methodist hospital. Your career is over, you think. At first, of course, you're depressed. Then your natural optimism takes over. What did you think, Harold, as you lay in that bed?
well, I said, well, now, what am I going to be able to do? I guess maybe I can direct, maybe I can write, I can do something in the theater, but I felt that the career was over. Of course, for about 3 months, they weren't sure
Right.
whether I was going to see or not.
The doctors think you'll lose your right eye, but then that eye is also saved.
That's right.
Is that right?
They thought one eye was gone. Yes, I can remember the first thing. It was the Motion Picture Herald, a trade magazine, about 3 months later, that they held. They said, can you see anything? I said, I see a red book. I told them what it was. They said he's going to get his other eye back.
And both eyes were all right. The scars on your face healed completely. You go back to pictures, and the world is richer for your return. February 10th, 1923, Harold, you held her hand just like that. You and Mildred sign a lifelong contract, beginning a most happy marriage that has lasted 32 years. Mildred retires from the screen to star in your home. Adding to your happiness have been 3 fine children, Gloria, Peggy, and Harold Jr., just out of the Air Corps, who himself has a promising career as an actor. And here are the kids, right here. And we want to see the faces because they're just handsome and beautiful there. Line up there behind Mom and Dad. There, a 5-star Harold Lloyd feature, eh? As the years pass, Harold, you and your pictures, many of which you produce and direct yourself, contribute richly to the laughter of America. In 1947, you make a Preston Sturgis picture called Mad Wednesday. Now, there was a character in that picture with you who played an important role. I know you recognize that voice. Bad, Harold. It's Jackie the Lion, yes?
Don't tell me he's here.
Yes, he's here. What kind of stunts did you do with Jackie and Mad Wednesday?
I never thought I'd ever do stunts like that.
You hung by his neck, you know, and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Harold, for the sake of all concerned, we won't invite Jackie to the party in your honor
I think
after
that's
the
a good
program.
idea. Yeah.
Thank you, Jackie.
You know, Jackie's teeth are still very good, if you really want to know.
When you did your stunts with that lion in Mad Wednesday, Harold, you rehearsed over and over until every stunt was perfect because you are a true perfectionist.
Yes, we did. We had a lot of funny ones. I was supposed to lead him into...
Ralph Harold proved that point several years ago when we played the word game at Paramount Studios.
One of your very best friends and one of Hollywood's most famous makeup artists, Wally Westmore. Here's Wally. What's the word game you mentioned, Wally? What is this word game?
You folks really can keep secrets.
A group of us played this word game, about 10 or 12 of us, and we had to form 5-letter words horizontally and vertically.
Yeah.
And then we totaled a score, and the one that had the lowest score had to buy all of the lunches.
Who usually got stuck with the
Well, Harold paid for quite a few of them.
I sure did.
But being the perfectionist he is, he wanted to master the word game, so he hired 2 secretaries and had every English word in English and French copied.
Every 5-letter word in
Every
English?
5-letter word, yes. And
5, 4,
stayed-
and 3-letter words.
and stayed up until 4 or 5 in the morning studying them and memorizing them. And from then on, he never lost a game.
And nor at lunch. Thank you, Wally Westmore. You'll see Harold at the party.
Did all right. You should pay for something.
Yes, whatever you attempt, your determination carries you to the top, Harold. When you take up handball for recreation, you become a championship-class handball player. As a bowler, you bowl a number of perfect games. No mean feat. You're a painter of stature, a nationally known color expert who has invented a color palette for artists. You're an expert with a microscope. There's always a young, eager outlook for new interests, and you're good in all of them. Your great contribution to motion pictures was recognized in 1952 by the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences when you were awarded a special Oscar inscribed to Harold Lloyd, master comedian, good citizen. And just last week, you were presented with the George Eastman House Medal of Honor for distinguished contributions to the art of motion pictures 1915 to 1925. And there's another all-important activity of yours, Harold. You've been a Shriner for 31 years, haven't you? In 1949, you were Imperial Potentate, the highest of the officers, the highest office in the Shrine. In that year, how many speeches did you make to Masonic Shrine temples on behalf of the 17 Shrine hospitals for crippled children?
During the year, I visited about 130 cities.
And in those speeches, what did you say about helping children, crippled children, uphill?
Well, I said, you can't help a crippled child uphill without getting closer to the top yourself.
You raise vast amounts of money for these hospitals.
Mr. Lloyd helped raise money for the Shriners Hospital for crippled children where I was.
Well, you met this little girl a few years ago when she was a patient in a Shrine Hospital, and here she is, Miss Patty Lee Britton, the sweetest little gal.
About this, Sit down, Harold.
I want to thank you, Mr. Lloyd, for what you did for me. It's because of you that I can now walk and play like other little girls. I couldn't when you first met me.
Oh,
This is your life. Harold Lloyd, star comedian, star humanitarian. Like the Tom Sawyer you admired, you've become an American institution.
700.
Well, Harold, we have so many things to give for your future. We're just going to skip to the Shriners Hospital for Crippled Children here in Los Angeles. They'll have a 16-millimeter Bell & Howell projector to play films on. Also, an RCA Victor Mark I high-fidelity Victrola phonograph and combination tape recorder in your honor. The shrine itself, of which you're a past imperial potentate, has designated for tonight's occasion a signal and richly deserved honor. In each of the 17 Shriners Crippled Children's Hospital in North America, there's a gold book in which there's a perpetual memorial to men who've done unusually outstanding and meritorious works in behalf of these hospitals. Your name goes in that all over the country. This is your life. Harold Lloyd. Thank you, good night, and God bless.